Todd's Carpet and Tile Cleaning, call or text 702-595-0488.
Well, we are a little bit later into the month, but it's been a few weeks since the anniversary of the October 1 shooting, and we're lucky enough to have Josh Bitsko with us. He has chronicled his experience of being right outside the door. We're going to get right into it here because there's a lot of trauma involved. Describe to us, you inserted yourself into this situation. What happened on October 1 from your viewpoint, Josh?
Yes, so I was training dogs. I was a canine sergeant at the time, and I was training dogs about 6 or 7 minutes away from, say, the Mandalay Bay. I ran our training program, so I would put dogs through our, new training academy, and I heard on the radio automatic gunfire. And obviously, that's not something, you hear a lot. At that point, I've been on the police department 17 years. And, I had been, as a canine handler, working with our SWAT team and being on critical incidents, I had been, shot at before, but never had I heard anything quite of that magnitude of just a high-powered rifle, fully automatic on the radio. As I'm driving there, we start to realize that the shooting's coming from the Mandalay Bay because any of these types of events, there's going to be confusion. As I'm arriving, the suspect's still shooting across Las Vegas Boulevard. So an officer was just shot in front of the Mandalay Bay in the arm. So we had to go in through the Shark Reef. And I mean, to this day, it remains the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history with 58 people killed that night. 2 have since died from their injuries. You had 413 people shot or hit with frag and over 800 injuries from like trample and all of that. So the gravity wasn't lost on me and the emotions that are involved in that response. I mean, in one side, you have to do what you have to do as a first responder, as a police officer, but the other side, it's like you're having these emotions and you're trying to navigate through them. And that's really what I put in the book, The Courage to Live, is how do you do that in the moment? And so we make our way to the elevator banks. And work our way up to the suspect's floor. He was on the 32nd floor of the, now after several minutes of this happening, we were able to identify where the shooting was coming from. So I have like an ad hoc team. I have a canine handler, a couple detectives. So we went down to the 31st floor, went all the way down the hallway, and there was a fire escape right next to the suspect's front doors of the suite that he was in. So we were going to use that to gain access to his door and attempt to make entry. Now he had stopped shooting at this point, so we don't know, is he waiting for us? Did he see our response? We know that we can't effectively get medical to the people down below until we clear out this room and see if the suspect had, is still in there, if he got out. We used a pry bar and we were able to take the L bracket off, pry that off and look out into the hallway. On top of that, directly across so he was in room 135, which was the suite, and directly across was room 134. And in front of that room was a room service cart draped with linen, and there were wires going from that room service cart into that room. Conduct an explosive breach. The cart did not explode. It turned out not to be a bomb. But even though the cart was real, I'll tell you the emotions surrounding it were for all of us. We go in, we clear the room out, we find the suspect deceased on the ground with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. One of the most difficult things that I've ever done writing this book, putting down, I was very vulnerable about, my lowest times, my lowest moments, what I did to get through them. There were times I was super emotional and crying as I'm writing, but I'll tell you that coming through it on the other side and now hearing people that have bought the book, that they it helped them and that they got emotional a couple times during the book, that really did it. To put purpose and positivity behind such a horrific event has helped me reframe